Welcome back to the channel. This episode, we're journeying to Ethiopia, where we're going to learn how an African empire was able to save themselves from being colonized. Before we begin, give this video a like if you've been enjoying the series so far, and let us know in the comments where you're watching from and if you've heard this story before. In 1896, an African army did something almost no other force managed during the entire scramble for Africa. It met a European colonial army in open battle and destroyed it decisively enough that the invader signed a treaty recognizing full, unconditional independence. The Battle of Adwa is one of the most important victories in African history, and it's usually told as Emperor Menelik II's triumph. Menelik led the army, but the reason Italy fought that battle at Adwa instead of a location of its own choosing, the reason the Italian garrison at Mekelle surrendered without Ethiopian forces firing a shot, and the reason Ethiopia went to war at all instead of accepting a bad treaty, traces directly back to his wife, Empress Taytu Betul. In 1889, Emperor Menelik signed the Treaty of Wuchale with Italy, an agreement meant to define relations between Ethiopia and the growing Italian colonial presence on the Red Sea coast. The treaty existed in two official language versions, Amharic and Italian, and they didn't say the same thing. The Amharic version stated that Ethiopia could choose to use Italy as an intermediary for its foreign diplomatic relations, an option, not an obligation. The Italian version stated that Ethiopia was required to conduct all foreign relations through Italy, language that, under international norms of the era, effectively described a protectorate. Italy immediately began presenting the treaty to other European powers as proof that Ethiopia was now under Italian protection, using a discrepancy that was either a translation error or, more likely, a deliberate deception to claim sovereignty over a nation that had never agreed to surrender it. Menelik was under enormous pressure from multiple directions once he understood what Italy was claiming. Taytu Betul was, by multiple contemporary and historical accounts, the first and loudest voice in the palace insisting the treaty's real meaning could not stand, and that Ethiopia had to reject Italy's version outright, by force, if necessary. She didn't advise caution. She pushed for confrontation, and she kept pushing until war became the official position of the Ethiopian court. Before the two armies ever met at Adwa, Ethiopian forces moved to besiege the Italian-held fort at Mekelle, and this is where Taytu's specific military instincts show up in the historical record, in the clearest possible terms. Rather than order a costly direct assault on a fortified position, Taytu identified the fort's water supply as its critical weakness and organized its disruption. Cut off from water, the Italian garrison inside Mekelle was forced to abandon the position and retreat, without Ethiopian forces needing to fire a single shot to take it. It's the kind of tactical decision military historians study, denying a fortified enemy the resource it cannot survive without, and Taytu is the figure most consistently credited with conceiving and executing it. The choice of Adwa itself as the site of the decisive battle wasn't accidental either. Italy's commanders expected and preferred to fight closer to Adigrat near the Eritrean border, where their supply lines and logistics gave them a real advantage. While Ethiopia needed accurate intelligence about Italian troop positions, morale, and intentions to avoid being drawn into a fight on Italy's terms. By multiple historical accounts, Taytu functioned as a central figure in receiving and analyzing intelligence gathered by Ethiopian spies operating around the Italian camps, information that directly informed Menelik's decision to commit to battle at Adwa, ground far more favorable to to Ethiopian forces than the location Italy had been counting on. This wasn't ceremonial involvement in a war council. It was operational intelligence work that shaped where one of the most consequential battles in African history was actually fought. On March 1st, 1896, when the battle itself began, Taytu didn't stay behind the lines as a spectator. She commanded her own force, estimated at around 5,000 personnel, responsible for provisioning Ethiopian soldiers and caring for the wounded during the fighting. Essential logistical infrastructure without which any army eventually collapses, regardless of how well it fights. Alongside her, by most accounts, somewhere between 10 and 12,000 Ethiopian women were mobilized in direct support of the war effort, carrying water and supplies, tending to injured soldiers, and in some documented cases, fighting directly. This mass mobilization of women as an organized, essential part of Ethiopia's war effort, not incidental camp followers, but a coordinated force with real logistical responsibility, was itself part of what made Ethiopia's total war effort at Adwa sustainable across a full day of brutal combat. By the end of the battle, Italian forces had suffered a catastrophic, unambiguous defeat, thousands killed, with Ethiopia inflicting the kind of decisive loss no other African army managed to hand a European colonial power during the entire scramble for Africa. Italy sued for peace. The resulting Treaty of Addis Ababa, signed later that year, formally recognized Ethiopia's complete independence and voided the disputed Wuchale Treaty entirely, exactly the outcome Taytu had refused to accept anything less than. Adwa is remembered globally, and rightly so, as one of the defining moments of African resistance to colonialism, a victory that kept Ethiopia the only African nation, alongside Liberia, to avoid full European colonization during this era, and a symbol that reverberated across the Black diaspora for the following century. Menelik is remembered as the emperor who won it. What gets compressed out of that story is that the war happened because Taytu refused to accept a fraudulent treaty when accommodation would have been the easier political path. That the siege tactic, which took Mekelle without a single Ethiopian casualty, was hers. That the intelligence operation, which put Italy on the wrong battlefield, ran through her, and that she personally organized and commanded the logistics and medical infrastructure that kept an army of tens of thousands fighting and fed for an entire day of combat. Later in her life, after Menelik suffered a debilitating stroke in 1906, Taytu attempted to formally take up the regency herself and was pushed out by rival court factions who weren't willing to accept that level of direct political authority from her, even after everything she'd already done for the empire. She died in 1918, largely retired from public life. Her role in Ethiopia's most celebrated military victory, already fading into Menelik's shadow. Adwa is the battle that proved African resistance to colonization could win outright, not just survive. It happened because an empress refused to sign away her country's sovereignty over a mistranslated sentence, and then built the intelligence network, the siege tactic, and the wartime logistics that made the actual victory possible. If African history's most consequential women keep getting reduced to footnotes next to the men they fought beside, this channel is here trying to fix that. Subscribe for the next one. Next episode takes us south to what British colonial reports insisted was a superstitious uprising led by a witch doctor. She was a spirit medium whose religious authority mobilized an entire uprising against British colonization in what's now Zimbabwe. And when they finally captured and hanged her, she told them her death wouldn't be the end of the fight. She was right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in Zimbabwe. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you know as soon as the episode drops.